Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I am so grateful that you are here. My name is Nikki and I channel messages from film and TV shows using tarot and oracle cards. And I'm excited and honored to be doing a collective reading for you today. In today's video, I will be collaborating with Archangel Sandalphon, and I'm so excited because we are going to be bringing messages through from the 1990 film Home Alone, starring Macaulay Culkin, Catherine O'Hara, and John Hurd. This is an epic Christmas film, and today is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas if you celebrate. If you don't, I hope that you are enjoying your evening, and I hope that this reading brings through some messages that provide some encouragement, clarity, upliftment, inspiration, or whatever else it is that you're seeking at this time. So in the next part of the video, we will just be diving right into the reading with Archangel Sandalphon. So there's no pick a card. It's basically one big general reading for the collective. So if you find that a message does not resonate for you, don't try to force something that does not fit. Only take what resonates and leave what does not. So in the film Home Alone, what it's about is this young boy named Kevin, and when he wakes up the next morning after a big fight with his family, he finds that his family is not there. They've actually forgotten about him, and they fly to France for their Christmas vacation. And Kevin, he faces a lot of fears while he's home alone, and he starts to, feel all these emotions around wanting his family to come back home, but also he has to deal and contend with two burglars who want to rob his home. And I'm very excited because I actually got this shirt for Christmas from my boyfriend. It's a Home Alone shirt, and it is the battle plan that Kevin created in the movie. So I thought it was very fitting for this video. But I hope that you enjoy this collective reading, and thank you to Archangel Sandalphon for assisting me. So I hope you enjoy it. Hello everyone, Merry Christmas Eve. Thank you for being here. This is the collective reading that consists of channeled messages from the 1990 movie Home Alone. And Archangel Sandalphon has stepped forward to help assist with channeling the messages, so I'm so grateful that he is here. And thank you again for being here. Let's jump into the reading. The first card that we have is Ocean, Sweet Success. So Ocean is the mother of the Nigerian Yoruba people, and her name means the source. And she is a fierce leader. So I feel many of you are being called to step into your leadership roles at this time, as success is on its way for you. And this can look different for each person, depending on where you are at in your life. But I also feel a strong fear in the collective around being successful. I also see that some of you are struggling with utilizing your spiritual gifts and making money at the same time. And Archangel Sandalphon is saying that you deserve to be paid for your wisdom, as your wisdom adds value to the collective. By releasing thoughts of lack, you will find that your creations are birthed into the world with much more ease and flow. And doing so is important as you move into the positions of leadership that the universe is opening up for you. From the film Home Alone, Sandalphon is showing me the scene in the very beginning. The McAllister family is chaotic as they are getting ready for their Christmas vacation to France the night before. Everyone is running around the house, and there is a policeman played by Joe Pesci, standing by the front door. A pizza delivery man shows up with 12 pizzas. And the policeman opens the door, and the delivery guy tells him that he is owed $122.50 plus tip. And the policeman tells him that he doesn't live there. And then the father of the house, Peter McAllister, played by John Hurd, he walks by, and the pizza guy tells him that he is owed $122.50 plus tip. But he doesn't pay him. He goes into the kitchen and he tells his wife, Kate McAllister, played by Catherine O'Hara, that the pizza guy needs paid this $122.50 plus tip. And she is like, what? For pizza? And Peter's all like, yep, 12 pizzas at $10 each. So she grabs her wallet and she goes to pay the pizza guy. And he's very grateful to her as he walks out the door saying, nice tip, thanks a lot. So with this scene, Sandalphon is suggesting that the collective be mindful of the words we speak when it comes to how much things cost. When Kate reacted to the cost of the pizza, she was exuding an energy of lack because she was implying that the pizza cost too much. But what's also interesting is that at the same time, she was very generous with the tip she gave the delivery guy. And generosity also helps to eliminate an energy of lack. Sandalphon is now showing me another scene from the film. So the next morning, the young son, Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, he wakes up and he finds that he is home alone. His family forgot about him and left for their vacation. But Kevin is super happy about this because he got into a big fight with his family the night before. So he decides to live it up and do all the things he isn't allowed to do when his family is home. He watches this movie called Angels with Filthy Souls. And there's a very violent scene where a gangster blows another guy away with a Tommy gun. And a few nights later, Kevin orders a cheese pizza, and the same delivery guy shows up with his pizza. But Kevin has decided to have a bit of fun with him, though, and he plays lines from the movie to interact with the pizza guy. So the cheese pizza that he orders, it costs $11.80, and Kevin tosses $12 through the dog door, which only leaves a 20-cent tip for the pizza guy. And this is the point in the film where Kevin plays the infamous line from the film, "Keep the change, you filthy animal." And the pizza guy calls him a cheapskate. So I feel an energy of some of you understanding what it feels like to be shortchanged with receiving tips sometimes, if that's a field you work in where you receive tips or commissions for something. And the holiday season can certainly tug on people's heartstrings and lead to more generosity. And I feel like you are someone who is very generous with your time, energy, and resources. And your generosity can manifest this reciprocal energy back. But your beliefs play a huge factor as well. Sandalphon is suggesting to get very clear on what your beliefs are around money. If you do not want a certain belief to be true for you, flip it to what you would like to manifest and experience. Also, if you work in a job that involves tips or commissions of some sort, set intentions before you start your work, like, I intend to make this much money today, and visualize yourself succeeding. This is a very powerful practice to have. Sandalphon is also showing me the scene in the film where Kevin goes into his brother Buzz's room, played by Devin Rattray. And Buzz has all these wall shelves in his room, right? And Kevin sees a baseball tin at the very top. So he proceeds to climb up the wall by stepping on the shelves. But before he can make it to the top, one of the boards he steps on breaks, causing the entire wall display to come crashing down. And The baseball tin lies open on the floor as Kevin comes out from the debris. He sees there is money in the tin and he's like, yes, Buzz's life savings, and he takes it. And there's also another scene later on in the film, a little ways down, where Kevin inadvertently steals a toothbrush. And as he walks home, he states, I'm a criminal, as he looks at this toothbrush. But what I'm feeling here is I'm picking up on an energy of stealing or having been stolen from. And some of you have a fear here that what is yours will be taken from you. And this is only true if you believe it is. Archangel Sandalphon is saying that your blessings are earned, and what is meant for you will find its way to you. But believing something will be taken from you blocks your blessings from actually coming in. So affirm that what is yours will never be taken from you. I'm also hearing that some of you, it would be beneficial to increase what you charge for your services. It's important to charge what you are worth because you do deserve it, okay? And with sweet success, believe success is yours, and it will be. Next we have Talasolto, forgive. So with this card, I do feel there is some unhealed energy with some family members. For some of you, this is something that happened recently. And for others of you, this is something that happened a long, long time ago. Archangel Sandalphon is showing me the scene in Home Alone in the beginning of the film. So the family has ordered the pizza and they're all in the kitchen eating. Kevin, he walks into the kitchen looking through all the boxes and he asks, did anyone order me a plain cheese? And his brother Buzz pipes in and says, yeah, but someone's gonna have to barf it all up, 'cause it's gone. And then Buzz starts pretending like he is vomiting, and Kevin gets so angry that he charges at Buzz, which causes Buzz to fly into the table where the family is sitting, and drinks spill all over the table. And Kevin starts going on this rant about what Buzz did to him. Then Kevin's Uncle Frake, played by Jerry Baman, he interrupts him by saying, look what you did, you little jerk. And Kevin goes really silent, and he sees how everyone is glaring at him while they attempt to clean up the table. Then Kevin's mother grabs him and tells him he has to sleep in the attic. And Kevin says he doesn't want to go up there because it's scary up there. And his mom tells him not to worry because Fuller, played by Kieran Culkin, will be coming up there soon to go to sleep, and he won't be alone. And Kevin says, I don't want to sleep next to Fuller. Everyone knows he wets the bed. And his mother tells him, okay, we'll put him somewhere else then. And then Kevin puts on this pouty face and says, I'm sorry. But she tells him in this moment that it's too late and to get up the stairs. So Kevin stomps up the stairs, saying everyone in the family sucks. And he tells her that he doesn't care if he ever sees any of them ever again. And she says, I hope you don't mean that. You'd be pretty sad if you woke up tomorrow and you didn't have a family. And he simply replies, no, I wouldn't. But then he says, I hope I never see any of you jerks again. And he runs up the stairs and his mother sighs and then she closes the door. So the first thing I'm picking up on here is giving or receiving a genuine apology with something. When Kevin said that he was sorry in this scene, he did not genuinely mean it. He only said it because he didn't want to share the hide-a-bed with Fuller who actually is Macaulay Culkin's brother in real life, which is really cool. But I do see that some of you are waiting for an apology from someone, or you are wanting to apologize for something. And when it comes to waiting for an apology, sometimes we have to accept that we may never receive one. And holding on to the anger and pain isn't hurting the person you are angry at. It's only hurting you. You don't have to speak to the person who hurt you. Keep your boundaries as necessary. But when you can accept that you're not going to receive an apology, this can help lead you to forgiving them. And forgiving someone who hasn't apologized is not an easy thing to do. But processing your emotions is the key to doing so. Journaling is a great way to vent and release your anger from this experience. Breathwork is also a great way to release the pain and anger from your body. Getting out in nature and going on a rage walk. As you work through the anger, it releases from your body. Then, when you think about the person who hurt you, ask yourself if you still feel angry at them. If the answer is no, then you are in a place where you are ready to forgive. On the other end of the spectrum, if you have been wanting to apologize for something, as long as you are doing so from your heart and from a sincere and genuine place, that is all that matters. We can't control if people forgive us, just as other people can't control whether we forgive them or not. But the act of apologizing from that sincere and genuine place shifts the energy into one of healing. Also, forgive yourself for any mistakes you made or things you wish you wouldn't have said. When we are angry, it's easy to say hurtful things that we don't mean. Just like when Kevin said he didn't care if he saw his family again. But not forgiving ourselves can lead to us punishing ourselves for a lifetime, and that is not worth it. Guilt and resentment will eat away at the core essence of who you are. And you have a beautiful light inside you that wants to shine on the outside as well. Next, we have conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. Yeah, whatever has been weighing heavy on your heart, you're being guided to the answers, okay? The conclusion and answers are within reach, meaning they aren't too far off from making it to you. Some of you are praying for this conclusion or for a reconciliation. Sandalphon is actually showing me the scene in Home Alone where Kevin goes to church and he's listening to the choir sing. His next door neighbor, Old Man Marley, shows up and Kevin is terrified of him due to a story his brother Buzz told him. He said that Old Man Marley was always shoveling the sidewalks to look for his next victims because he was a killer. So every time Kevin sees him, he runs away in terror. But when Old Man Marley shows up at the church, he surprises Kevin by saying Merry Christmas and asking if he can sit next to him. Kevin looks bewildered, but he says yes. And they end up forming this really beautiful bond. And we learn that Old Man Marley is at the church to see his granddaughter, who is in the choir. And he confides in Kevin that he got into an argument with his son and that they haven't spoken to each other since. And Kevin confides in him how he said some things he wished he hadn't about his family, but that he did genuinely miss them and wanted to see them again. Kevin also tells Old Man Marley to call his son, and he says he's afraid that he wouldn't want to speak to him. And Kevin tells him that he won't know if he doesn't at least try. So Kevin and Marley come together at the right time to share wisdom with each other. They gave each other advice when they needed it the most. So going to church for some of you may align with someone who has the exact piece of advice you need to move forward. Or you could just run into someone anywhere. It doesn't have to be at a church, but the divine will be bringing a message through this person to get to you. Also, perhaps calling the person you want to reconcile with is the message for you, just like Kevin told Old Man Marley. Also, Archangel Sandalphon wants you to know that your prayers have been heard and the conclusion is within reach for you. So keep the faith, okay? Also, be open to the people who show up in your life. Kevin was afraid of Old Man Marley because of the rumor Buzz told him about. And this rumor ended up not being true. So use your own discernment when speaking with people. Also, perhaps it's a rumor that started the chaos in your family. And I'm being drawn to the light of the moon on this card here that is just illuminating in the night. The truth will come to light, whatever that means for you. And also, I do feel a reconciliation will happen for some of you, because at the end of the film, Kevin is looking out the window and he sees that Old Man Marley's family is at his house for Christmas. So this is a scene that's indicating that he took Kevin's advice and called his son. So for some of you, a phone call could be all that's needed to reconcile you with someone you love. Believe in the impossible blue moon. Kevin faces a lot of his own fears when he wakes up to find his family is not home. And when his mother finds out they left him home alone while flying to France on the plane, she freaks out. And once they land, she calls the police department to go to the house to check on him. Kevin hides under his parents' bed when the doorbell rings, and he has this inner dialogue with himself that only a baby would be hiding under the bed. So he bravely storms down the stairs and out the front door declaring, "Hey, I'm not afraid anymore." Until he runs into Old Man Marley, who is shoveling the walkway, and he begins screaming and runs back inside. Because at this point in the movie, he still believes that Old Man Marley is a killer. But this is one of many fears that Kevin faces. He also was afraid of the furnace in his basement until one day he tells it to shut up while he does the laundry. And what is so great about this movie is how it shows that kids are capable of more than adults give them credit for sometimes. So whatever fears you are facing at the moment, Sandalphon is saying to believe that you can overcome them. Believe in what seems impossible. Because sometimes when we take a closer look and change our perspective, we see that our fear loses its power over us. Kevin also deals with two burglars in this film, Marv and Harry, played by Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci. And Kevin outsmarts these two at every turn, especially when they plan to break into his home and rob it. So Kevin devises this plan and he booby traps his entire home. So when Marv and Harry come back, he is ready for them. So what seems impossible for you at this moment? How can you change your perspective of the situation so it seems less scary? And it is okay to be scared. But when you change your perception, you will find that new paths open up that you didn't see before. Also, believe you are safe and protected. At the end of the film, Marv and Harry catch up with Kevin in the house next door, and they hang Kevin on the door where they tell him they are going to do all the awful things to him that he did to them. And Harry says he's going to begin with biting off each of Kevin's fingers one by one. And this is when Old Man Marley shows up and knocks them both out with his shovel. Then he takes Kevin to safety, and the cops arrest the burglars. So I'm hearing to trust that the divine has your back. People will show up at the right time to help you when you need it, just like Old Man Marley showed up to help Kevin. Next we have say yes to your open door. I love the message coming through with this card so much. Wow. So Sandalphon is showing me that many of you are trying to open a door that is meant to stay closed. This is not your door, okay? There is a better door, but you are refusing to say yes to it. In the movie, when Kevin booby traps his home, he puts a hot iron on the front doorknob. So when Harry tries to get in the house, it severely burns his hand, and it actually brands the M on the doorknob into his hand because the last name of the family that lives in the house is McAllister. So when we repeatedly try to open doors that are not for us, or they are meant to stay closed, we can get burned in the process. Forcing something and not letting go is more painful than holding on sometimes. Sandalphon is suggesting to say yes to your open door, because this door leads to blessings and opportunities that are beyond your wildest dreams. Fulfill your destiny as a cosmic change maker. Home Alone is a family movie, so with this card, I feel many of you are here to do ancestral healing. This means you are the one who is the generational curse breaker. And I'm drawn to how this card says cosmic change maker here. You are here to create positive change, but this can only happen by being willing to look at your own shadow and to heal yourself, because as you do so, you light the way for other members of your family. Not all will choose to heal with you, but some will. And it only takes one person to be strong enough to invoke this change. You are that person. It's important to remember that you are not responsible for healing your family members. You are only responsible for healing yourself. But healing yourself will create the change you want to see. In the movie, Kevin was the generational curse breaker in his family, but he didn't realize it. He was strong enough to outsmart and outwit the two burglars that wanted to rob his home. And being put into a situation where he was all alone helped him see how strong he was. So I do feel some of you have been isolated or alone for some time. And there is a great purpose in this. This time of isolation and being alone is when you do a lot of healing and going within. It's from this space where you learn valuable information and see things as they really are. It removes you from the distractions of the world and prepares you to be able to fulfill your destiny as a cosmic change maker. Kevin faced his fears first before he had to deal with the burglars. He was being prepared to protect and honor his family home. And the same goes for you. This time of being alone is preparing you to fulfill your destiny. You have ancient ancestors walking with you as you help to break patterns that have held your lineage back for many generations. Sandalphon is telling me that you won't always be in isolation, but where you are right now is a blessing, and it is where you are meant to be. I release all feelings of negativity and guilt. Many of you have felt like the black sheep in your family, and this is the feeling of not fitting in. Many of you have also put up with a lot of ridicule from your family, and this is because you hold a very high vibration that triggers their shadow. Sandalphon is showing me the scene in Home Alone when Kevin wakes up the next morning and finds his family has disappeared. He sits down at the kitchen table and he reflects on all of the negative things they said to him the day before. He was told things like, "Kevin, you're such a disease." "Kevin, you're what the French call les incompetents." "Kevin, I'm going to feed you to my tarantula." "Kevin, there are 15 people in this house and you're the only one who has to make trouble." So I feel this energy where you've put up with negative comments like this from certain members of your family. And while doing the ancestral healing, you may wonder if it's worth it because of the negativity you've put up with. And Sandalphon is saying that it has been worth it because you've actually helped more than you're allowing yourself to see. You have softened the hardest of hearts. You have provided a nurturing, kind word that someone needed at the right moment. You have been there for people who haven't been there for you in the same way. You are showing a new way. Do not focus on the negative comments that people have projected on you. Flip them into the opposite positive version. On the back of this card, it says, "We create habits and problems to fulfill a need. When I can find a positive way to fulfill the need, I can release the problem." So Sandalphon is saying that when negative thoughts pop up or you feel yourself ruminating on negative things people have said, you can release the negativity by asking yourself how the healed version of yourself would handle it. The healed version of you would find that positive way. You just have to ask yourself what that is for your specific situation. And holding the light and your frequency in the midst of negative people does help to shift your reality. Sometimes the answer is as simple as removing your energy from negativity. You do not have to stay around people who keep putting you down. I'm also drawn to the word guilt from the other side of the card. So I do feel there is a pattern where some people have tried to make you feel guilty for setting boundaries or not wanting to do something. And you don't have to feel guilty for doing what's best for you. In the film, Kevin begins to feel really guilty because he believes he made his family disappear. So I feel some of you are blaming yourself for something, and I keep hearing that it is not your fault. Unnecessary guilt is the worst kind of guilt because it makes us believe that we did something wrong when in fact we did not. And sometimes people like to point the finger at someone just because they want to have someone to blame. Sandalphon is saying it's safe to release all feelings of negativity and guilt at this time. The last card is, "I freely express who I am." Sandalphon is showing me how many of you are connecting with your inner child and allowing yourself to be more playful. I'm being shown the scenes in Home Alone where Kevin dances around the house, jumps on his parents' bed while eating popcorn, and also sings Christmas songs while getting ready in the bathroom. And our inner child holds a lot of keys to helping us express who we really are. On the back of this card, it says, "It is my birthright to express myself in ways that are fulfilling to me." So I do see that many of you suppress this part of yourself growing up because other family members didn't make you feel safe to do so. But it is safe to do so now, okay? And one thing that I personally have found very helpful is the frame technique. All you do is stare at a candle flame for 5 to 10 minutes a day. And it's very powerful because it helps you feel safe within your own body. And when we feel safe, we manifest safety in our outer world and also feel even more safe to express ourselves and who we are. I learned this technique from YouTuber Aaron Doughty, and he explains the technique very well. So if you are interested in learning more about it, I'm going to share the video in the description box down below. Sandalphon is also pointing out how creating a safe space for yourself is important as well. And this includes creating a refuge for your spirit and protecting the boundaries you set for yourself. Also, decluttering and doing space clearing rituals will help immensely. Your home is a reflection of who you are and also allows you to express yourself as you mold it as you want it. And for those of you who do have a spiritual practice, having a shrine or an altar that you meditate or pray at helps infuse good energy into your living space as well. So as you create safety within yourself, you also find that you create it in your outer world. There's also a message coming through about illness within your family and being afraid that certain ailments will be passed down to you. And it's true that when we are ill, it doesn't allow us to express ourselves in the way we would be able to if we were healthy. But these patterns of illness end with you, as you are the pattern breaker in your family. And if you are experiencing illness, sometimes this is a sign that something in life needs rerouting. So be honest with yourself about what needs to change. You have so much support around you. Your guides and angels will help you with whatever it is you need. Ask them for help when you need it, and also for help with breaking any patterns of illness you may be experiencing. The pattern does, in fact, end with you, as you are here to transcend it. Sacred medicine is available for you. Call it in. Wow, those were amazing, amazing messages coming from Archangel Sandalphon from the 1990 film Home Alone. Thank you, Sandalphon, for being here. Also, thank you for being here. I am grateful for each and every one of you. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel. It helps the channel grow, and I am very grateful for all of you and your support. I love you all so much, and I will see you on the next video.